and a priest. I can imagine it'd be a little bit daunting. Like, how do you do that?
Yeah, I had no previous priest experience.
Right.
So,
I'd imagine.
Yeah.
The citadel has fallen. Black smoke blots out the sun. Because as some of you may already know, we have a female student in the class, only as an observer. So, let's descend into the mouth of hell, shall we? There are more possessions reported today than at any other time in history. So we must fight for every soul.
To defend us in battle against the spirits of wickedness.
Hey Jim, how you doing?
Nicholas, I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing very well, thanks.
Where are you at in the world?
I'm in London, so it's kind of evening time here and a bit dark. Is it the morning with you, is it?
I'm in Chicago, so it's noon right now.
Oh, nice.
It's probably like in London, chilly and rainy. So
snap, that's exactly what it is.
There you go. Might as well be, where you're at. Same weather.
Yeah.
Man, last time I saw you, I was freaking out on screen. So hopefully, things are good on that end. I talked to Daniel on Friday. Man, it was kind of funny because Daniel is like the first interview I ever done in this business 80 years ago. I actually let him know he did not know that. So we had a good kick out of that. So
no way.
Yeah. First interview ever. He did a movie called 13 Sins back in the day. I think it was 2014. So we got to catch up 8 years later. It's so cool.
That's wild. He's a lovely
he's
guy.
An awesome guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
What's it like to work with him? Because I love talking to him. He's just a great, smart guy, engaging. What is he like to work with though on set?
Yeah, wonderful. Just like what you said. And he's encourages collaboration as well. So everyone feels happy, confident, comfortable to bring ideas forward and to put them out. And then if they're good and they're brilliant, he's like, yeah, absolutely, let's roll with that. And then other times he's like, well, we can't do that now because that might come, a scene or two later. It's maybe a bit early for that now, and things like that. So it was he knew the journey for all these characters so well. So it was really fun because you could suggest things and then you knew you were safe to do so. So it was really collaborative in that way. And yeah, we had a good time. We had a laugh while we did it as well. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
You're pretty new to this industry. I mean, to have a movie like this, it's a pretty big deal, I'd imagine. What is it like for you to kind of being, a newer actor in a sense, not what is much experience as maybe some of your co-stars in that, with a set like that and with a director like Daniel, was it daunting for you a little bit or was it exciting? Like, what were your emotions going into this? Because, it's going to be a big movie. People are going to see it all over the world.
Yeah, look, it was absolutely incredible opportunity. And loved the part as well, Father Raymond. That was really cool. It was really exciting. I mean, we came out of lockdown, and a week or two later, I was off to Bulgaria to do this film. So it was completely crazy that we were even doing it, and I think it was in August of 2020. So it was even crazy that we were doing it. But no, the whole experience was awesome. And as you say, it's going to be going out and people are going to be seeing it all over the world, which is just incredibly exciting. And something I really relished and I loved, and I want to do a lot more.
There you go. And you got a horror movie under your belt, so you're in
exactly.
You're in a good place now. You can conquer anything, Nicholas, at this point.
Exactly. People kept saying, "Oh, was it really scary to film it?" and things like that. And I was like, "Well, not really, because some of it was green screen, or some of it you're with this lovely little actress who was like 11 at the time, I think, with a bit of makeup on, and she's really sweet. You hang out off set, she's really nice, and then she goes on to set and becomes the possessed demonic, little girl that she was. So it was we had a great time out there. I was very, very fortunate to be a part of it.
I've always heard from so many actors that horror sets are usually the most fun. Like it just a constant unanimous thing that working on a horror movie, you know, we get to watch and we're freaked out at home or seeing it on a big screen. But working on it, it's such always a fun experience, you know? What is a horror set like? Kind of guide us through this, especially for this. I mean, obviously for this film, since that's your experience. You mentioned some green screen, but what is it like? Like, you know, behind the scenes and then when the camera's rolling and we're going through like an exorcism here.
What was it like? So yeah, it was really cool. We were at the new we were at the studios in Bulgaria, so we had a few different sets within there. There was one that was like the level 3 where the possessed were held in those kind of you know, where the door where me, Christian, and Jackie kind of, and Father Quinn, Colin Salmon had that initial kind of battle. And then a little bit along from that was the dungeon set, you know, the one with the the cages and everything like that, and the big waterfall and everything. And again, obviously a set piece, which was just insane because, wow, like you said, I hadn't been on these big sets before, or you know, at these big studios like this. So it was absolutely crazy even to be. I was just taking pictures and
nice. There you go.
Like, look at this, isn't this crazy?
That's right. Behind the scenes footage.
Exactly. And then we had another, we were used one of the local, I think, universities. They weren't there, or an older university, I think it was, maybe that was used for some interiors as well. So yeah, we were dotted around in a few different locations. I was, and it was it was a lot of fun.
You know, what is it like to play a priest? Like, and not only to play a priest, which I'd imagine you wouldn't have experience at. You know what I mean? That's a whole different, and like doing justice to the role too. You know, like you might see an actual priest watch this and then judge you on how you did. Was it? Did you feel any kind of pressure, or like, okay, I got to play a something that people actually are, you know, like a real human in a sense, and you know, a priest, that I can imagine that'd be a little bit daunting. Like, how do you do that?
Yeah, I had no, you know, previous priest experience.
Right.
So,
I'd imagine.
Yeah. So yeah, I just did I looked on YouTube, you know, I just did a lot of research on YouTube, Google, things like that, and there was a lot of little things. And then I just watched a lot of previous horror films. You know, I watched The Exorcist. I'd seen it before, but I watched it again, and you know, the Rite, I think, with Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, The Rite. Yep.
Yeah, really good ones, and some other ones, just to get an idea of that world. And there was just little things that I thought were quite cool, like when you got the crosses and things, they would always kiss it, and they would kiss this I think the stoles, the purple stoles, they would kiss the cross on the top of the stole, and even just the way they would hold or use their implements, the Bible and the cross and various different bits. They're like weapons, if you will. So,
right, against an exorcism, these certainly are needed, you know.
Yeah, and even just like doing the cross, I hadn't done that before, so I googled that to make sure I got that right, and I didn't, do it the wrong hand or upside down or whatever.
Yeah, you got to do it right, because if you're like, it's like playing a doctor and not knowing how to hold the utensils, you know what I mean, for surgery. So
exactly, those are little details, and someone might laugh, but you get that wrong, you look like a schmuck. So
yeah, well, that's what you nailed it though. I believed it, you know. So
thank you.
I believe you've done some exorcisms, if that helps, you know. So good job there.
I'll take that. Thank you. But I also looked into exorcism because
you did.
People being exorcists is like a real thing, and it's gone through various like different incarnations throughout the years. So I looked a bit into that, and it's wild, because you wouldn't think that was maybe a thing or like a profession or one a section of the church, but it is. So that was really crazy. I didn't know that. So that was really interesting to look at as well.
Yeah, you hope you're never in that presence of it or have to be in it. You know what I mean? I'd imagine one of those things where you're like, it exists. I hope never to be involved in it unless it's in a movie, you know, to play it.
yeah, it's wild. It's wild, but yeah, I mean, even in the film, at the start of the film, it has a little bit about exorcists within the church and things like that. So no, it completely opened my eyes up to.
No question. I mean, I told Daniel this. You shared a lot of scenes with Christian and Jacqueline. She has the best facials I think I've seen of anyone. I mean, I told Daniel, I'm like, you could put this movie on mute and still know what's going on completely. Just how she emotes through her face of everything. Were you blown away? Did you notice this too, working right next to her on camera, how her face is so expressive and tells a million words, basically?
100%. I remember doing the Zoom read through for the film. I was in Glasgow. People are dotted around all over the world. Jackie is this. Obviously, there's more people. There's 4 just now, and the boxes are quite small. But there's about 20. So the boxes are tiny. They're like this big. And I said to my agent after I got off it, I was like, what I just saw Jacqueline Byers do on a Zoom read through in a box this big. If that's anything to go by, then we're in very safe hands, because she was awesome in the Zoom read through, smashed it completely. So I was so excited not only to work with her, but to meet her as well. And I can say that the experience only got better when working with her, when being around. She's lovely, and she led the company in such a way with such style and grace, and good humor, and utter professional. She was brilliant, and and on set to work with, like you say, she was phenomenal. So very easy to work with. You got a lot from her, actor to actor. You get a lot from her. It was a pleasure.
That's awesome. That's cool to hear. Did you guys do anything? You're in a foreign country in a sense, all of you coming together. Did you guys hang out or do any activities offset to kind of get all the exorcism and the scares away from your system? What did you guys do in your off time?
Yeah, absolutely. As I say, it was just after that first lockdown, so there were still some restrictions, so we weren't as free and breezy, but we still managed to head out just around Sofia. We were in Sofia, Bulgaria, so we went around Sofia sometimes. It was Christian's birthday one time, so we went out for a little night out there with him, and we also ended up at like a pool towards the end of the shoot. Ended up at like a pool. It was scorching hot. It was like a pool party sort of thing. There was a bar and some food and
there you go.
So it was a lot of fun. And apart from that, we just went out for some lunches. We would take Posey, who's the little actress that plays Natalie, was over with her mum. So we would go out for like lunches and dinners, the kind of 4 of us, and some of the other guys, Christian and other ones. So that was really nice as well, because it kind of felt like a little family almost. And Colin Salmon as well. He was while I was there, he was kind of there at the same time. So he was a big part of that as well. It did feel, there was such a great vibe on set and between the cast. And I can only hope that maybe resonates as well onto the screen and people see that, because that was something we definitely experienced throughout certainly throughout my time there. I was there for about a month. So it was a lot of fun, and hopefully, that benefits us as well in the film.
I think it does, because it's all about welcoming this girl into this like all male, class and stuff. And you and Christian's character right there are the ones to bring her in, sort of, and welcome her in. So yeah, it did feel like school. The new student comes to actually literally moves to the city or the town, and you welcome them in. So just this time to do crazy things, not to just go to lunch or something.
Yeah, I think Father Raymond at the start is he's a bit more old school, a bit more conservative in his views. He's like, a girl, why is a nun in here? But she certainly wins him over pretty early on as well, when she jumps in that first kind of exorcism with Natalie, and then she wins his respect or whatever from there on. And they're a good little group. But then again as well, at the end, he's like, why are you here? She killed your sister. So again, there's another stumbling block in their relationship there, because he really he really doesn't agree with what she's done, or and how she went about it and things like that. So
lots of twists and turns. So if you think you know what's happening, you have no idea basically in this movie. You got to watch it to the very end to see how it turns out, for sure. This was a lot of fun, Nicholas. Appreciate you taking the time to talk to me, dinner time. And I really enjoyed the movie. I told Daniel, this is one of my top 5 Exorcist themed movies ever. You know what I mean? So And I was the idiot that watched it late at night before bed, you know, after midnight. So I feel like it rattled me that night. You know what I mean? I didn't get the best sleep.
Wrong time to watch it. Yeah. Brilliant. It was lovely chatting to you, Jim.
Hey, you too. Much luck, and I hope to see more of you. Okay, this better be the start for a lot from you. So I think you got a bright future ahead. So
Thanks,
love that Daniel cast you in it.
Thank you. Cheers.
Hey, talk to you soon.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.